Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Javi. This is my wife.
I'm Jessica.
And on this show, we talk about topics that we all have to face so we can build our faith, develop our character, and take action towards a life that we want to live.
Absolutely. One of my favorite things is getting up and hanging out with you guys because, we've talked about before when we took that 2-week break to revamp our show. We were like, oh, we don't like that. I love getting up and hanging out with you guys. I love having this time to just chit chat and talk about what God has for the day, for the week. And it really makes all the difference in our day. So we're hoping that that's the same for you. Hey, listen, if you are watching from inside our private Facebook support group, there's a StreamYard link right there. I'm going to have you go ahead and click on that. That will make sure that we see your name when you comment because it is a private group. There's also a YouVersion Bible app link. If you want to follow along on the study that we're using to guide this topic this week, make sure that you click on that. If you want to go ahead and download the YouVersion Bible app, it is an amazing resource. And this week we are talking about getting unstuck when you're talking about fitness and getting active, getting more active in general. And actually, I was going to say real quick, I'm going to say it again at the end, but for those of you who are on with us right now, that those links and everything that I just said, that StreamYard link is going to go away after this week because we're actually going to just be broadcasting on our YouTube channel, our brand new YouTube channel. We're going to move over there. I will be putting the links on Facebook, but we will no longer be broadcasting directly to Facebook. So if you want to catch our show and our podcast, make sure that you're jumping over to our YouTube channel because that's where they will be housed. Now we'll be going live over there every morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday. So make sure you're catching us over there. And I will put the link below in the comments so that you can go ahead and go subscribe to that and be notified. One of the things we wanted to share with you today, we've been really getting some really motivational things put in front of us this week. And of course, we must need it because that's when it shows up.
Exactly right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I wanted to share this with you. It's such a good reminder of just the things we need to be remembering.
If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did.
That is so true. You know, you had mentioned, oh, by the way, good morning, Annie.
Hey, good morning, girl.
But you had mentioned that we had, taken the break to revamp the show after a year of doing the show. And, we didn't like that period where we weren't doing it because this is a big part of what we do. It's just been a big, and a very important thing.
Hey, good morning, Larry. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Denzel Washington, best motivational speech I ever heard.
Yep,
for sure.
Absolutely. But the thing is that in doing this, when we first started, we thought it would be something great to share. These devotionals that we've been doing for years with one another, but share it with you and invite you to our table while we discuss God's word and what he has to say in our lives. But we had never done anything like this before. This year has been filled with things that we have never done before.
Yeah, it's basically the year of all the new things.
But you know what? There has been a lot of failure.
Yeah.
But there has been great successes along the way. From every failure, we have learned something and we've taken those lessons and moved it forward to do it again or to revamp things or to redesign things. We learn from our mistakes. We try not to run from our failures. Yeah, sometimes we beat ourselves up, let's be honest.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sometimes we kind of go in a hole for a minute and we're just like, I failed. But here's the thing. Really, the only way you can truly fail is to not do anything. Failure when you're actually doing something is just a try. Look at Alexander Graham Bell. This is the thing that I come back to in my head when I think about failure. Immediately, I always remind myself of the inventor of the telephone. Okay, he only failed except once. I mean, he literally invented the thing. I mean, look at what we have now because he was like, what we should be able to do is communicate. And he tried, hundreds of times. thousands of times, whatever it was a lot. It wasn't 5 times. Okay. It was all failure all day until he succeeded. He only succeeded once, and boy, was it worth it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So imagine if he just thought failure isn't an option. Well, then we wouldn't have anything. And most
Yeah.
inventors, if that was their idea, of success, that failure isn't an option, then we would not have most things that we have. Yes, exactly. Yep. Failure is natural phenomena. Yeah, in anything, but be sure to fail forward. That's what I was just saying this morning. I love that you say fail forward. Most people don't know what fail forward means. It just means, if you fail or if you don't succeed at something or something doesn't work the way that you wanted, it has to be that you take from it what you learned. I mean, look at science. Science is actually failure.
That's what it is.
Science is failure.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people confuse science with
Fact.
but science doesn't mean something's a fact, that it's proven. It just means that science is the act of figuring something out, of experimenting, of testing. Science is the actual
exploration.
Yeah, the exploration of what you're doing. And so there's a lot of failure because that's what science experiments are. It's just like fail, okay, redo the variables, okay, fail, okay, reset the variables. I mean, that's what it is. And that's how we learn, and that's how we figure things out. Figuring out what didn't work teaches us what does work.
Yeah.
And so in our life, we can take lessons from those two things, from those things that are naturally already happening, all this failure around us that's absolutely necessary for growth, but we don't do that in our own lives. So I love that.
Yeah, I think about the advancement of technology.
Yeah.
In the last 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
How much technology has moved forward. Like you said, now we're holding computers in our hands that are this thin,
that we can talk to people across the whole world.
That's absolutely incredible. But if it wasn't for failure and the pursuit of just our curiosity, our pursuit of making a better life, our pursuit of ingenuity.
Yeah.
Right.
Our daughter is a natural engineer. I mean, she's like, I just want to be an engineer when I grow up. And she's 10. She's been saying that for years already, actually. She sees her dad being an engineer, and she's just like, I just want to figure everything out. She wants to watch everything we do. She wants to learn everything about how everything works. She's not interested in whether it's going to fail. She's interested in figuring it out. So, of course, she already has naturally introduced herself to failure. And the beauty of that is, out of our kids, she is actually the one that's most offended by failure, which is funny. She doesn't realize that she's setting herself up for a lifetime of failure, but that's good failure, because it's figuring it out. When you're an engineer, it's all about figuring out the mechanics. But, she's all about she's a perfectionist like me. So anyway, it's just, I love watching her kind of get curious and want to fail, without realizing it. It's that natural desire for us to figure things out. But when we get into like our life and our goals and our fitness and our nutrition and anything to have to do with our health or our relationships, we don't want to figure things out. We just want it to work.
Yep. We want to take the magic pills, right?
Right.
Yep.
No, it's so true. So Larry's all over us today. Yes. Continue to do the same things that you do every day. You will continue to have the same things you've always had. Yes, exactly. It's science, right?
Exactly right.
All right.
So let's get going.
Let's dive in, because today we are talking about Rise and Go North. All right. So actually, again, as you guys know, we don't read ahead. We just read the titles. So I don't even know what that means. Let's find out. How long have you wanted to get in better shape? It's probably been a long time, but for one reason or another, you keep putting it off. This challenge will move you into action by helping you align with God's word. It's time to take action. In addition to Jesus telling the infirmed man at Bethesda to rise, God delivered a similar message to Moses. While wandering in the desert, God spoke to Moses and said, listen up, you've been in this place long enough. Go north. You may be feeling stuck like the infirmed man at the pool waiting for a miracle, or you may be feeling like the Israelites on a journey for 40 years desperately hoping for the promised land. Oh yeah, I know how that feels. But from your vantage point, it seems like it may never happen for you. Wherever you find yourself, know that today is a new day. And it's time for a change. It's time to do a new thing. It's time to stop circling the same mountain and go north, upwards and onwards towards a healthier life. Hey, I'm going to read that again for those in the back. It's time to do a new thing. It's time to stop circling the same mountain and go north, upwards and onwards towards a healthier life. The Israelites were wandering in the desert. The man was lying at a pool. Two extremes, yet their struggles were similar. They were both stuck in a cycle. Jesus' question to him exposed just how stuck he was in his pattern. Jesus was speaking to the man's heart condition when he asked him if he wanted to get well. Regardless of whether you've been stuck because you have a physical infirmity, whether you fell out of the habit and find it hard to start, or because you're not motivated, it's time to go north. Yes, you may backslide sometimes, but it's all good. God is not asking for perfection. He's looking for progress. Yes, the journey will be difficult and your flesh may be kicking and screaming, but God promises that he will be with you in the midst of it, and he will give you the strength to bear up under it. Are you ready to go north? So let's reflect on that. Number one, how is the Lord leading you to go north? Number two, what has gotten in the way as you've tried to move forward in the past? And number three, how do you believe this time will be different? So our prayer today could be look something like this. Lord, I am tired of circling the same mountains in my life. I'm so tired of my disobedience and rebelliousness, yet I am not sure how to live any other way. I've been doing it my way for so long that I don't even recognize it. Lord, please open my eyes so I can see a new direction. I will look up and fix my eyes on you. I surrender my habits, my proclivities, my will, and my ways to you, Lord. I'm ready to make exercise a part of my daily lifestyle. In your name I pray. Amen. Yes, Deuteronomy 2:3 says, you have been wandering around in this hill country long enough. Turn to the north. Yes.
Yeah, go bring up those. Can you bring up those questions again?
Yep.
We need to be asking ourselves
these questions. All right. So these questions were, how is the Lord leading you to go north? So here's the thing. A lot of us don't think about how we are going to talk to God about our fitness. Like, we don't take things like fitness and our nutrition to God. That's why I really wanted to do this study, because I think most people just, there's like their God drawer in there. It's like you have a dresser with all of the compartments of your life, all of the different areas of your life. You've got a drawer in your dresser, and the dresser is your life. And you have your health drawer and your relationships drawer and your money drawer and all of that. And then you've got your God drawer or your beliefs drawer or whatever, faith, and what actually it is God is the dresser, and all the drawers are in him. You don't have him in a drawer. You don't have him, you shouldn't be putting him in a little box where you don't take everything to him except for when you decide you want to take something to him. And then it's like usually things that we would, see in a movie, like, oh, I'm struggling and everything's coming to a halt. So, hey, God, by the way, or it's Christmas, I got to go to church, or, hey, I'm going to take the serious things to you. Like somebody's dying and I need to pray, or there's tragic things going on. No, everything is what he's providing for us. Everything is what he's involved in.
What your analogy is saying is that everything is contained in God.
Yes. So but think about it. I think we don't see it that way most of the time. We don't think about that our bodily health, which by the way is directly connected with our mental and spiritual health, because it is all contained in our physicality. Okay. Yes. Here on earth, at least for now. It's all contained in what we're doing with ourselves. I mean, how much is our mental health if affected by what we physically do and eat? It is. It's been scientifically proven, right? So we have to think about, well, wouldn't God care about this? Wouldn't God care about how we're taking care of the only vehicle we've been given to carry out the things he's asking us to do? Wouldn't God care about that? And yes, our body, AKA the temple. Yeah. And that's the thing, is that it is the only place we have to live. We only get one house. And like, if we just continue to tear it down, we're not going to have one to live in anymore to do the things we need to do for God and for our families and for the things that we really want to accomplish. So of course he cares about that. In fact, he talks about it, of course, like Larry said, in the Bible. But the thing is that that's part of stewardship. And we've talked about this. But my whole point is God cares about that. So why aren't we taking it to him? Why aren't we asking him to do this with us? He can help us get the right habits. A lot of times what it is that when you go to God, this question number one, how is God leading you? You got to ask him first to know, and then shut up.
Yeah, shut up. You got to, the reason why we say that, because if you keep talking, you're not going to listen to what he's saying, right? Continue to allow a lot of noise in our life. We don't hear what God is saying. So sometimes we need to be in that quiet space, and we need to be patient and quiet, listen to his voice. Wow, that's convicting.
Yeah. No, I'm so convicted today because we all struggle with this, you guys. I mean, we currently, I say currently have had a plateau, I guess you would say. We all have plateaus where you are doing your work and everything, and then all of a sudden you're like, your body's not changing anymore, and you're like, okay, what do we do now? So you've got to start addressing the issue, like, okay, where do we need to shift? What do we need to do? So you're trying to, figure that out. Well, we need to take it to God, right? So I'm being convicted. But also what I was going to say is, when you're asking God, one of the biggest things that he does is take you through the hard times. When you're standing in your kitchen at night and you're saying, do we have a salad for dinner and some stuff on the side, or do we order a pizza? 'Cause that's a very real conversation. Then, when your stomach is trying to make the decision for you, you're hangry or whatever.
You're allowing those emotions to make your decisions.
But think about this for a second. Here, I'm going to take this down just for a sec. Think about this for a second. I always do this to help myself understand situations. Think about another situation in your life where the answer's obvious and you know exactly what you would do because it's a no-brainer. If I was going to try to make a compromise between what I was going to give my child or what I was going to do for my child, if I'm like trying to go through something hard and I say, well, which decision do I make? My emotions are never part of the process of making that decision. It's not about how I feel. It's about what makes sense, right? It's about what I'm supposed to be doing. It's about what is the best for my child, even if it means more work for me, right? Think about this. If people that find out that their kid has a peanut allergy, say, now, good morning, Monica. Good morning. How are you? You're not finding ways to go around that. You're not going ahead and ordering something for dinner that has peanuts in it anyway and saying, well, I don't feel like doing the extra work to cook something that is good for you. No, you just do it. You go outside your comfort zone, you do the extra work, and you deal with it, right? Because that's what we do. We survive. We fix it. We go around, we take the long route around, we just do what we need to do. People always ask when we're going through hard things, how do you do that? How did you do that? I just did. You don't talk about okay, so one day I was standing in my kitchen and I really had to get through that hard time to try to figure out whether or not I was going to help my child. You just do it. So when we're talking about our own emotions during these times where we're trying to make decisions in our kitchen or trying to make decisions to whether or not we feel like going and working out, it really is in the mind. It is all you going, this really sucks right now and I don't feel good, but actually it's not killing me. And I know what I'm supposed to do. And the stomach has a really loud voice. It's a really hard voice to talk over, for sure. And because for me, it's just hard. And so I definitely have days where I compromise, but I'm feeling convicted right now. And I'm just wanting to be transparent with you because I know that all of you feel the same way. You have had many of those days where that's what's keeping you from your goals. That's what's keeping you from doing it, is that when you go by your feelings. And last week we were talking, or the week before, we were talking about this idea that your feelings, your emotions should be your gauge and not your guide. Never have your feelings be the thing that makes the decision, but more of a gauge as to what's going on, as a sign that you need to address something. So I just wanted to address that because when you're going to God, that's the stuff he helps you with. He's leading you to go to him in those hard moments to get you through the mental challenge that it is to be healthy and to get the change moving, the change train, going. Okay, question number 2. What has gotten in the way as you've tried to move forward in the past? So just a lot of things I was talking about. Yeah. I mean, the emotions, right? I think probably one of the things that gets in most people's way is that it isn't a routine yet. I think one of the main things I hear is I don't have time, right? Everybody has time, period. There's no, because you make time for stuff. How many times have you heard somebody say, man, I had a computer problem the other day and it took me 4 hours to fix it? Well, I know personally, I never have 4 hours for anything different than what I'm already doing. But if I have a computer problem like we just did, it took us 2 days straight of working on that computer problem. But what did we do? Well, we had to prioritize. Looks like we were working on the computer problem before we do anything else. And did anything crash and burn? Did anyone die? Did our business go down the toilet? Did we stop getting money for food? No. We took 2 days and we worked on the computer. I didn't have that time before, but I made the time. So the same goes for like 30 minutes a day. You end up just making a different routine and you make the change. So once you have that routine now, because you don't say, I don't have time to shower. I mean, most of the time, or brush my teeth, right? Why? Because there's an allotted amount of time per day that you've set aside for that.
Yeah. Yep.
You just do it.
Yeah. And, one of the other things I think stand in our way is our limiting belief.
Oh, yeah.
The beliefs that we have of ourselves that limit us to discover the life that we want to live, the person that we want to be. We may want to be thinner. We might want to be more active, but for whatever reason, deep down, you think that is out of your reach. You don't think that you are capable of doing the things necessary to do it. And that's why we continue to put things ahead of it. Yesterday, we were talking about the yeah, buts, right? That's where that comes from. Yeah, but this, yeah, but that. Those are all those limiting beliefs. Yeah. So the next time when you say yeah, but, question yourself. Is this something that I'm putting in myself? Is it a limiting belief? Is it a belief that I'm putting forward saying, well, yeah, but I'm too busy. Yeah, but I have this to do. Yeah, I got to take the kids to their practice. But I have to work late. Think
about it. When you say yeah, let's break that excuse down, because that really is the number one excuse. Just put in a blank. Yeah, but whatever, right? But I was just thinking while you're saying that, first thing you're saying is yeah. So the first thing you're doing is agreeing that you need to do this. You're not in disagreement. Everyone says, I want to get healthier. You're like, yeah, but, and anything that follows that, because we do have the time and we do have the effort in some way, even if we're injured, to make sure that we're getting healthy, whether it's our nutrition or our fitness or something. There's always a way to be improving our health in some way. So think about it this way. When you say yeah, but, yeah always is followed by, but I actually value other things above my health.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the excuse. It doesn't really matter what you say after that, because we always can make time and money to do the things that are truly important. Because again, I will say it over and over. If something comes up that is absolutely important to you, you will freaking do it. And you know it. We all do. If our car breaks down and we need that car, then we're finding money and time to fix it, because we have to. But we don't ever feel like we have to get healthy, even though we do.
Yep. And yesterday I was talking about a lot of times when it all comes crashing down and you're being rushed to the emergency room. And now your life is on the line and you're laying there and you're thinking about, I should have done this. I wish I would have done that. All of a sudden, all those excuses go out the window because you see the priority that you need to take right away. I've been in that position many times where I'm like, God, just get me out of this, and I'm going to do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And I
love Larry's comment. I bet you won't make excuses to run out and grab that Krispy Kreme. Right.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, not only because of those situations, Larry, but because every time we've ever compromised on our nutrition to a point of like Krispy Kreme, we're like, yeah, let's have a treat. Oh, do we pay for that? Immediately. We're like, I'm so sick. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sick. Why did I do that? So we don't even have cheat days or whatever, really, because we just get sick. Who wants to do that? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's another thing that gets in the way, is people are like, well, I keep falling off track. It's really hard for Javie and I to fall all the way off track. We have times where we're traveling and we compromise more, but not all the way. Like I can't just run down and get like a Red Robin burger. Like just if I ate beef right now, or I would be so sick. It's not even funny, but that's because I have created a routine and a pattern in my life that's new. I've created a healthier pattern. If I don't have greens during the day, I actually am sick. If I don't have,
when we went on our recent trip, because that was a long drive.
Yeah.
We didn't have the greens that we're used to.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, our bodies felt it, right?
Oh, I was sick because I didn't have the micronutrients and the fiber and stuff that I normally was used to. My body was like, what's going on? Why are you eating that? Like, I was eating more snacks and just like in the car because it was a 14-hour drive. Like you get one of the number one things that has helped us is getting into a new pattern. And then so you have to give yourself time to do that. Fitness is a huge example. Yesterday, I worked out for 30 straight minutes with this lovely man who's working me really hard in the gym because, he's my trainer. I have a trainer at home because I'm not really a fitness buff, but he is. And so he keeps me fit. But here's the thing is that I've stopped making excuses now that I finally got in my pattern. Yesterday, my hamstrings, the back of my legs are so sore that every time I sit down, I'm like, oh, like the last couple of days, because we did a really serious workout a couple of days ago where I really worked my hamstrings. It was leg day. You know how leg day goes, those of you who work out. And I was, now every time I go up the stairs or down the stairs or sit down or move, I'm like, nah. But I worked out through it yesterday. Why? Because I was like, well, I'm over here saying my health is important. And I also know about fitness and I've studied it. So I know that if I don't work out, they're actually going to hurt more. So here we are. I'm just working through the pain because why? Choosing your pain, right? So which pain do I want? Hey, CL's here.
Good morning, CL.
From a ninja to a ninja. What's up?
Bring up the last question.
Yeah. So the last question is, how do you think it's going to be different this time? How do you believe this time it will be different? That's kind of a little bit of a vague question. So how do you believe it's going to be different this time? Well, that all depends on what you're going to do. I mean, do you feel like you're going to do something different this time? Do you feel like it's going to be different with you doing the same things you did before?
Right. So we talk a lot about this when we go to when we start talking about SMART goals.
Yeah.
Okay. When we come to everybody makes their New Year's resolutions, and pretty soon, guys, we're going to be talking about that again, right? But when we set those New Year's resolutions, we say, well, we want to lose weight. We're going to maybe even take the step to go to the gym, or we set some financial goals. Oh, we want to take that vacation, but we don't set in place a framework or structure on how to accomplish that goal. It's just really a vague goal. Even when you go to sign up for that gym membership, you say, well, I'm going to work out. I'm going to go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. Okay.
Right.
Yet you do nothing about your schedule. You don't say when you're going to do it. When you get to the gym, you just walk around, maybe try a few things because you don't even know where to start. You don't set up the framework
for success.
Yeah. And that's when we talk about SMART goals. You break down your goals in a way that sets up a framework for success. You set the roadmap for the journey.
Yeah.
Right?
With the end in mind. Hey, Larry, you're right. Mindset is how it will be different this time. Mindset's always how it's different. It is because here's the thing is that if you don't get your mind right, if you don't get your beliefs about yourself right, if you don't get your perspective right, and that's a huge one, you can't do anything physically. You can't change any of your habits. You can't sustain anything. You can't stick to anything because our minds run our bodies, right? So everyone's really like, oh, it's just about habits. I'm like, habits are mindset. Everything we do is mindset. And I think people don't realize that everything is about where our mind's at, because that's what's controlling our habits. That's what's controlling our actions is our mind. So, obviously, it seems obvious, but, we don't think about, well, we have to get our mind right. A lot of people get really stuck on, well, I'd love to have a personal trainer, but I don't know why I would need a life coach. Well, because a personal trainer can teach you habits, but a life coach is going to teach you how to do them. is going to teach you how to stick to them. A life
That's
coach
right.
is going to teach you why you aren't sticking to them. A life coach is going to help you navigate through the barriers of what's keeping you from doing them every time. A life coach is the person you need to talk to so that you stop stopping.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
So
Exactly
it's one of those things where what we don't know what we don't know. And that's what a life coach is for, is to walk you through. I think one of the things I want to point out before we go, and we'll leave you with this, because when it comes to fitness, nutrition, anything else, there are patterns in human behavior and psychology. And most of us think that what we are doing or not doing is unique to us. And it's not even a little bit. Both he and I have been to therapists before for traumas in our past and all kinds of things. And it's an amazing experience if you get the right therapist. Okay. But one of the things that really stuck out to me when I went to therapy years ago was that she pulled out a piece of paper. She's like, hey, tell me a little bit about what happened. So I tell her a bunch of stuff that I'm going through. And she goes, oh, she goes through her filing cabinet like this. And I'm like, wait a minute. And it was like a Xerox copy of some like psychological process that I could go through to kind of help myself get out of that rut. And I'm like, you're telling me that the problem I've been dealing with for years is on a Xerox copy? That's how common this is? You're telling me that everybody's already known how I could fix this? And the whole time I've been struggling because I just didn't know to ask someone to tell me what was wrong? That because we all think, well, I'm not broken and mentally crazy. I don't want to go to a therapist or a psychiatrist or anything like that. Meanwhile, we're all struggling with the same mental blocks, the same traumatic experience responses, the same PTSD stuff, or the same like anxiety. We're all dealing with the same stuff. Why? Because the human brain is the human brain, and people have studied it for a reason. And there are people that can help. But we deal with this stuff thinking it's just us and that we have a very unique experience, and we really don't. Think about how many millions and billions of people have lived over the years, over thousands and thousands of years. There's nothing new under the sun, you guys. If you're dealing with something, ask somebody to help you get over that roadblock, whether it is actually a therapist or a life coach or whatever. Somebody knows what you're going through and can help you navigate through that. So we do this all the time. We've actually helped people ourselves navigate through many roadblocks, and it is successful because it takes a person listening and saying, oh, yeah, no, that happens. That's normal. And this is what you do. And you go, oh my gosh, this whole time. So listen, it's all about understanding that what you're going through is something that can be fixed, there's a solution. I'm traumatized for that hat that Javie has on.
Yeah. I see you. All right.
I see you, Larry.
All right.
Oh, it's on this football season. Larry, you start showing up to our shows. Yeah. It's gonna go on. I want to know what's your favorite team, Larry. I want to know who your team is, because if we're gonna make it real, let's do it.
Exactly. Bring up his other comment.
Yeah. So don't make unrealistic goals that are unattainable, which most do. That will do more harm than good. Absolutely. And that's what we're talking about with SMART goals. If you don't know what SMART goals are, that's an acronym. Okay, SMART stands for 5 words. And okay, now I'm trying to remember what they are. SMART, S is for
Seahawks. No.
S is not for Seahawks.
No, look, we're over on our time, but look, if you we on our nonprofit side, we still have our YouTube.
Yeah, we have our nonprofit organization has a YouTube channel.
Right. So if you're watching this and you want to know more about SMART goals, because I don't really want to go all into SMART goals and just leave everyone there, because it's really it is really important to get that down, especially moving on through the year and ending the year strong.
Yeah. But we'll dive into SMART goals again.
Our nonprofit YouTube page, that Underdog Ninja on YouTube, I did a few videos on SMART goals. If you're curious, go ahead and check that out.
Yeah, and make sure you comment below if you don't know the website address to that. So I'll make sure I send you over to that YouTube channel, because SMART goals are it's really just about, you're right, we don't have time to go into that today, but it's about just the way you set goals, the way you attain goals, and to measure everything out so that you're not just arbitrarily saying, I want that, and then no plan to achieve it is really what it is.
So, hey, I hope you guys got something out of today. I know we did. It was very convicting today, but if you did, please hit like and share this with your friends and family. We want to grow this opportunity to share God's word in everyday life and how it affects us. So we could all build that faith and develop that character. And again, take action towards the life we want to live. And we mean those three things.
Yeah.
We truly do. So help us to grow and share this word and grow this little community that we're trying to grow.
Yeah,
so
and we
would really appreciate that. And we welcome you. We thank you for just,
and welcome you
for taking the time to spend this time with us, spend your morning with us or your afternoon, wherever you are.
Afternoon, Gaynor. Gaynor's not here right now, but she's in the UK. She spends her afternoon with us.
Right.
Hey, listen, you know what? Speaking of being on a mission, if you want to sponsor our show or if you want to sponsor our podcast, it all goes to both shows. But if you want to sponsor the outreach that we're doing right now to help people stay healthy lifelong, to help people navigate through situations that are really challenging, make sure you jump over to javieandjessicamadrigal.com and you can sponsor our show for as little as $5 a month. There are sponsorship levels for every different budget. If you own a business and you would like us to actually do ads for you, you can sponsor us at the platinum level, and we will make sure we give you a shout out as a sponsor officially of our shows and our podcast, and that way you can get a little bit of extra exposure. We love to do that and honor your sponsorship. Thank you for your partnership, no matter what you do, though, because this is the thing. We can't do this alone, and we need the community to come around and rally around this mission of outreach, getting the word out there to people who desperately need hope and they need help and solutions in their journey to fighting whatever disease and fighting whatever health battles they have. Hey, listen, if you want to jump into our 21-day challenge for October, this is going to be a good one. We have some surprises we're going to release about this challenge in October soon. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to go ahead and sign up for that, go over to eliteninjaacademy.com/21-day challenge. You can see all the details there. It's $97 for 3 weeks of nutrition coaching, fitness coaching, workouts, live workouts, and all of the different things you need to make sure you get your health on track. We are here for you. We want to walk alongside you. We're going to do it with you, as well as the community around you. So
one last thing, in the beginning of our broadcast today, we said that here very soon, we are going to be only broadcasting this show on our new YouTube channel.
Yep.
Okay. Just keep that in mind, that we are very shortly not going to be broadcasting here on Facebook.
Not directly into Facebook. We will be putting the links to our YouTube videos here, but we're not going to directly broadcast into Facebook because we're going to move everything over to YouTube. So we actually on Monday, I think, is what I'm going to do.
So be sure to catch us on our new YouTube channel. Do you have that link by any chance?
I don't have the link. I'm going to put the link below this broadcast, though. So you guys will see the link below in the comments. Make sure you click that and subscribe today so you can get the notifications for that.
All right, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you later.
You guys. Bye.